You've seen the cool designs, the eco-friendly claims, and the budget-friendly price tags, but is it actually worth it?
Today we're breaking down the real pros and cons of living in a container house so you can decide if it's the right move for you. Let's get into it.
The pandemic changed everything for us.
We left behind our old life in London, searching for peace, purpose, and freedom,
We found it on a quiet beach in Brazil where we built a home out of steel and dreams.
and rescued two dogs who rescued us right back.
Now we're sharing our journey.
Raw, real, and a little wild.
Welcome to Savage Beats.
Alright, let's start with the advantages of a container house.
Number one, affordability. As millennials, we are super stressed about getting loans and a mortgage because in the end we end up paying twice the amount we're supposed to pay. When you hire a container home customization company, they actually give you a price tag, so you know how much it's gonna cost from the beginning, from the customization to the installation. So that was super important to us. And when you're building a brick and mortar house, you never know how much you're gonna spend. They have this forecasts that it costs X per square meter, but in the end, the truth is that it costs twice, sometimes 3 times the amount. And for us, that just meant it would be super stressful. So the container was stress-free for us. So in that sense, it was worth it.
Number two, eco-friendly solution. Reusing shipping containers is definitely an eco-friendly solution as these things would just be thrown away. So you're helping the environment for sure. Additionally to that, if you think of building a house from wood, building a house from bricks with a concrete foundation, just think about how much carbon footprint that comes with, not even mentioning all the wasted material that will just end up in a landfill somewhere. So deciding on a shipping container home for us was definitely important because we've lived in busy cities like London, we lived in apartments, we lived in traditional homes where there was just so much concrete in the earth that every time it rained, basically the whole place just got flooded. Whereas right now where we live, yes, it can occasionally happen that, after a full day of rain, things get flooded. But since our container home is elevated, built on concrete blocks, this is no longer posing a problem for us.
Number three, fast construction. We rented before this. We rented until our 38 or something.
All our life, basically.
All of our lives. And we decided to just buy a home. So we bought a piece of land. And as soon as we bought the piece of land, we just wanted to move in. And if we did build a brick and mortar house, that could take 1, 2, 3 years, depending on how the budget would go. And with the container house, I got an architect. The moment I got the plans for the house, I delivered it to the company that was gonna customize the container. And in 2 months, the house was built in their lot and installed in my lot and ready to go. So plug and play. So for us, it made a lot of sense. We saved the years of rent that we actually used to do modifications in the house that we'll show later. And it's good. It's a good thing. Very good thing.
Number four, durability. Shipping containers were designed to withstand the harshest environments. These are designed to withstand really difficult conditions, really difficult weather when they are being used to transport goods with ocean freight. They are made out of coarse and steel material. I'm pretty sure that they could withstand a bullet. Haven't tested it yet, so don't try it at home. But yeah, they are definitely durable and they can be there for years and years to come.
Number five, insulation and mold free. When you live in a brick and mortar house, there's a lot of mold going on, especially here in Brazil that it's very humid. The last house we lived in, there was a lot of black mold and that freaked me out every day. It was impossible to clean, impossible to get rid of. And it's just a stress. It destroys your clothes, it destroys everything, basically everything. So the good thing about the container is that, number one, we got the reefer model, not the dry model, because when you get the dry model, you have to add the wall, drywall. You need to add drywall and inbuilt electricity. In the reefer container, it already comes with insulation in between the wall. The walls are actually 7 centimeters in between. There's this insulation. So it made a lot more sense for us, and the electricity is external. I'm gonna show you later.
Yeah.
So I just feel safer with the electricity outside, and the container is not too hot during the summer, and it's not too cold during the winter. Of course, we had to add a roof to keep the temperature controlled, but yeah.
Number six, portability and flexibility. Shipping container homes are super easy to install, given that you have the right foundation and plumbing, electricity, all of that. But even if you're thinking about an off-grid setup, they are very easy to put in place. For us, this meant the company that customized our container house was about 2 hours drive from where we eventually settled down, so it was super easy for us. What should have been an afternoon of installation got a little bit prolonged, but more on that later.
7, modern aesthetic. Container houses are like Lego blocks, so it's easy for you to be creative and to plan if you're gonna pile them up or add more units. It's just super fun. And another thing is that for us it was a no-brainer, because when we lived in Europe, Akash brought this container house idea, and when we realized that we were never going to be able to build in the Netherlands, I think if you do live abroad and you have a container house, please comment here because the regulations change. But for us, it was a no-brainer because they look so cool, and yeah, we were ready to set our minds on it. But before you start ordering your house on eBay, please don't do that. Here are the things that they do not tell you.
Number 1, hidden costs. As with any kind of build, there are additional costs to it, right? So when you contract a company that does the modifications for you, that will be a fixed cost. But on top of that, there are some things that you need to consider, such as building a foundation, making sure that you're connected to the grid, whether it's electricity or sewage or water. These come as an extra cost on top of it. Any kind of outside modifications that you want to do after, like a deck, like a pergolato, something like that, obviously it's going to be on top of your fixed fees that you've contracted your supplier with. And any municipality fees, whether it's zoning requirements and so on, just make sure you check with your local regulator and how much that will cost for you.
Number 2, permits, regulations, and insurance. In Brazil, we are allowed to build container house. I don't know in the country that you are in. Again, if you live in a container house, please comment below. But in Brazil, you are allowed. But in the city that we're in right now, the restricting zone, I don't know how to call it, they determined that the bedroom radius must have 2.5 meters and the container is 2.3 meters. So we have to extend the bedroom with a deck and a glass wall to be allowed to build. And they said yes. So another problem that we're facing is insurance. It is very difficult to get insurance because in order to do that, you need to have a brick and mortar area of the house, could be a bathroom, whatever. But we don't have that, so nobody wants to insurance the container house. I don't know exactly why. They're not very direct on why. And again, if you live abroad and you live in a container house and you do have insurance, please comment.
Number 3, insulation issues. The myth is that if you live in a container home, these can become an oven during the summer and a freezer during the winter. Now, in some sense, this is true. If you do opt in to use the dry container for your container home, you will definitely have to take care of the insulation. Like Alini mentioned before, you need to drywall, you need to insulate, you need to have the electricity put behind those drywalls to make sure that you don't boil up during the hot summer months and you don't freeze to death during winter. Now, since we went with the reefer container, all of this was already done for us. So we didn't have to do anything really in terms of insulation. We just had to make sure that when we installed the windows, those were properly done. Honestly, we've been living here for 15 months and it's been pretty good. We do need to pull out the occasional ventilator. We don't have
It is Brazil.
It is Brazil, yeah. We don't have aircon. We haven't really seen the need of it just yet. And during winter, it's perfectly fine. We're more than happy with just the insulated walls.
Number 4, limited space. If you have a big family, if you like to entertain a bunch of friends, if you dream of having a king-size bed, a container house might not be a good idea for you. We have a queen-size bed. It's pretty good. We had to get some customized furniture. All the pieces of furniture that we have, they're measured, they're small, and that might be a problem for you. But you can add more units, more container units, and make the house larger. So it might be a problem if you're thinking about one container, but if you're thinking about 2 or more, it's not going to be a problem.
Number 5, rust and structural issues. Now, these can come up only if you're using a used container. Obviously, it's going to be the way cheaper option rather than, opting in for a container that has never been used. I mean, these used containers, they go through harsh conditions when they are transported through ocean freight. A couple of things that you need to consider is if you are going to get a used container, make sure you always check it. Make sure that you're buying it from a trusted source. So again, not from eBay or AliExpress or something like that. The company who you contract with, they actually do thorough checks. So many companies actually have the full-on descriptions of what the containers were transporting. They have a full history of where they were used, which countries they went to. It's actually pretty cool to see, what was the lifespan of your container home before you actually started living in it. And obviously you want to make sure that no hazardous materials were transported it's cleaned thoroughly, and all the rusts, all the dents have been checked, and make sure that they are structurally solid.
Number 6, resale value. Not every buyer wants to buy a container house. So a container house might be even harder to sell than a traditional home. But it's something that you don't think when you're building a house, right? You actually start thinking about it afterwards. Although we are not thinking about selling it yet, it is a thing that comes to your mind. And what we're going to do to kind of go around it is build a brick and mortar extension to the house with a kitchen, a living room, maybe another room. And I'm sure that in the end, whoever wants to buy this house, it's going to think it's super cool, especially if you go with industrial interior design, with all the external electricity and bricks and concrete. And another thing is that if you're thinking about Airbnb in your home, it's an excellent solution because number 1, they have a category for container house, and number 2, it's one of the most searched type of accommodation on Airbnb. So you can actually make a lot of money. There are many channels on YouTube talking about it, talking about specifically container houses. So it's definitely worth it.
And last, number 7, imperfections and upholstery. So if you buy a used container, just always remember that these containers have been going through some harsh conditions. So they will have dents, they will have the possible rust. So what you need to do is just make sure that, again, you verify them and that they are structurally solid. When it comes to upholstery, if you do go with a reefer container, just keep in mind that these will have metal walls inside as well. Same steel material as the outside, so they are literally impenetrable. You're not going to be able to use standard screws. You will need specific screws that are made for steel, that are made for container homes. You can buy these at any construction store, really. These are self-closing screws, so not only they will be able to penetrate the steel, but they will also make sure that they stay insulated. If you do go with a dry container, you will have drywall inside, so then it's not even a problem.
I want to add that when we move to the reefer model, because if you do the dry model, you're going to add the dry walls and it's going to look a little bit more perfect than imperfect. The reefer, especially, it really didn't look perfect.
No, but we kind of like it, to be honest.
But I freaked out in the beginning a little bit. I got a little depressed. And then I got an interior designer to plan. And we did the kitchen, we did the bedroom, and now I'm happy. But in the beginning, I was a little down. I wasn't feeling very good about it.
One thing that we did make a mistake with, I guess, in the beginning is that we decided not to paint the container from the inside.
Oh, yeah.
We just wanted to go with the very industrial...
We thought it was going to look cool gray.
It's not.
It's not.
It's really not. So, yeah, make sure if you do think, wow, this is going to look so cool with just the metal, it doesn't. It gets old and boring very fast.
Yeah.
After about 2 weeks, I think we already were like, we need to paint this.
And don't use vinyl floors. You know, the fake wood click kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's terrible. So is it worth it? It depends on you. For us, it was worth it because we always liked container houses, and the fact that we could budget accurately, it made sense. But if you just want to buy a prefab, plug and play, cheap house, you might be in for disappointment.
So what do you think? Would you live in a container house? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're serious about the topic, please subscribe, click the notification, like, click on all the buttons because there's a lot more content coming your way. See you in the next one.
See you, bye.
Guys, they're lying to you about air conditioning.